Now then, how you doing? I hope you're well. You know, old packhorse bridges and moorland streams are always a challenge when it comes to capturing them in watercolour. One glance at my back catalogue would suggest that I'm clearly obsessed with them. I've been revisiting a subject in Swaledale recently that combines both rather beautifully. Welcome to Old Gang Beck. This is Surrender Bridge in Swaledale, gateway to an area steeped in the Yorkshire Dales National Park's industrial past. In much the same way that Sycamore Gap and Aysgarth Falls became synonymous with Robin Hood thanks to a popular movie in 1991, so the old gang mines in Swaledale have recently become associated with Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, all thanks to a modern retelling of the story, despite the location, to my knowledge, having absolutely no connection with the Brontes whatsoever. The valley and adjacent moors are bursting with the remnants of what was once a thriving lead mining industry. Mines that were built in the 1700s and were in operation until the early 20th century. Old Gang Beck, also known as Mill Gill, runs the length of the valley and into the River Swale. It's crossed by several small stone bridges, but none, in my opinion, quite as full of character as this one. Composition-wise, it's in an almost perfect position, just upstream from the old gang mines, enabling, with just a small amount of tweaking perhaps, to create a scene that might feature all those elements together. Vegetation has encroached on almost every element within this scene, including the top of the bridge, which is exceedingly old and worn away. From a visual point of view, it means the green of the grass helps to bind all of those elements together. In landscape painting, anything that creates a visual link between elements is generally a good thing. The next thing I want to turn my attention to is the warm bracken on the slopes of the fell just beyond the bridge. Specifically, some of the details and textures visible within it. Well, this is one of those areas where everyone has a slightly different idea of how it should perhaps be represented. My own approach might best be described as impressionistic. In other words, I won't be going down the botanical illustration route and defining such details with any overdue precision. Instead, I prefer a healthy dose of chaos. I like the idea of laying down brush marks that might be mistaken for detail, providing the viewer doesn't look too closely. What I'm describing is something akin to a conjuring trick, whereby the viewer believes they are seeing more than is actually there. A good example of the old adage, less is more. And what you see me doing is applying mostly dots and dashes, random in size and distribution, and softened off, as always, to help blend them into the surrounding wash. Well, I say random, but of course there is a vague underlying order to it. The vegetation is growing on the slope of a hill, so it must follow and in some ways help to visually explain the contours to which they cling. Well, the big question is when to stop. How much is enough? And it's a question that's very difficult to answer with any degree of certainty. Indeed, it's a question commonly easy to answer retrospectively, when we know that we've gone too far with it and that it almost certainly looked better 20 minutes ago. We need to mess up a few times, learn from our own mistakes in order to get better at our art. All of which brings me to the finishing touches, starting with a smattering of dark tones. These need to be applied with some care. Extreme dark tones have a habit of catching the eye and can draw attention away from areas where you may prefer the viewer to linger. Random highlights can be turned into small stones by simply placing a dark tone right next to them, and undulations and cracks in the ground can be made deeper. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, then please do hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more, why not become a studio member of my YouTube channel? With that, you'll get instant access to the full-length, non-time-lapsed version of the demonstration, from which this has just been a very small extract, along with a bursting back catalogue of full-length demonstrations and tutorials for you to enjoy at any time. To subscribe, just hit that join button. There are other sign-up options also available, such as my online tuition service. If you're interested in any of that, you'll find full details in the video description below. And that's me done. Until next time, do take care.